Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Backdoor Cut with myself, Peter Rice. We have Eoghan McCabe and we have Darragh McGurn, two men after playing a bit of football this weekend and lots of topics to get into. So Eoghan, Darragh, how are you going? We'll start with you, Darragh. Do we have you in good form today or in poor form again as usual?
No, I'm in good form. I'm always in good form when I'm able to play on the pitch. I've been in bad form for about a year then. Yeah, good form, I suppose, with the fact that Fermanagh got the W as well at the weekend, so that was a positive. And obviously getting relegated was a downer as well, so it was a bit bittersweet, to be honest. But yeah, good to be back on the pitch, good to be feeling good as well, more than anything. Like, I didn't probably expect myself to actually feel as good on the pitch in terms of like, I thought I'd just have a struggle with pain and stuff when I reintegrated myself back in, but that side of things has been going pretty well. And last week in terms of loads was the highest I've had in a very long time, and the body kind of held up. Like I'm crippled here today, to be honest, because I did run Saturday as well, and then obviously played on Sunday, so good to get, I suppose, off the back of that in decent enough shape in terms of the actual pain side of things with the injury. I'm just looking forward now to try and push on with the county, like to try and, I suppose, get minutes and that side of things as well. Moving forward into the championship and then the Tailteann Cup, obviously.
So
you're massive win for Darragh.
What do you say, Kev?
You're not backing yourself to win Ulster, no? That's fucking losing talk already.
These haven't won a game in Ulster in about 25 years. You're already going to think you're going to win Ulster?
Well, Eoghan McCabe is obviously getting on quite well because he's straight in with some abuse for Darragh. Eoghan, what's the story? A good performance from you at the weekend? Let's get into it.
Good to be back. Get back in against Clare last weekend. The great escape from cornerback is on. Operation get me out of there. Like, so, I played wing forward there last week, and then same again yesterday. One of our lads went off, so it actually went in the wing back, but still anywhere with cornerback. But I was looking back behind me one stage, I was going, fuck, I'm just one lane away from where I needed, where they want me to be. Happy out, good to get the win yesterday. Clare game, probably unfortunate. Lost him on the first half, like get sent off, so we're kind of up against there. But good to get the win, good to stay up, obviously. Couldn't have faced going down the Division 4 again, like so. Happy to have stayed up.
Mr. Dependable, is there any negatives to playing in more than one position and being able to adapt to playing wing forward, wing back, corner back? Is maybe the negative is you end up playing corner back?
That's, yeah, literally, like you end up playing somewhere and you might do well 1 or 2 games and you're fucking stuck there. But I think I was talking about this before, like when I was one of my second or third year with the club, like I don't think it was 2 games in a row where I played the same position. I think it was between sort of half back, half forward. I was even laying out sort of corner forward or corner back at stages too, and it was just like there was no consistency to where I was playing, and that annoyed me at that stage because I felt like I couldn't get a run of consistency. But I don't know, I think the only negative now is that you feel like you've kind of got a wee bit of an escape from cornerback, and then if I get thrown back in there at some stage I'll be fuming, like so. I got the only downside of it now. We taste the freedom.
What
are
you focused on when you go into those games at wing forward? Like, do you change your KPIs, or are you given like specific targets to hit in terms of measurable kind of process goals by coaching staff, or do you set them yourself?
We bit of both. Like, I had a conversation with Andy a couple of weeks ago. I was just sort of asking about. Basically, I was having a chat with him, and he was like, "Listen, the full backline's going well." I was going, "Brilliant, happy days." I'm delighted with that. You can look at me for somewhere else, but just sort of had the conversation of like, right, well, what would you need to see from me to get a shout at a different position, like, and then they give me a few like specific things to work on. Obviously, like use of the ball, getting up and down the pitch, trying to use whatever pace that you have, and then I suppose like the other. The other part of it is like turnovers, press and all that sort of stuff. Like, and when you have so defensive minded for the last couple of years, I do feel like that's a bit of an advantage of like you can sort of you're almost defending, but you're almost like the first line of defence nearly. So yeah, that's something that I was sort of working on too. But I think half forward or half middle eight really is just work until you can't do any more really. Like,
so you're essentially playing. You are playing as a proper wing forward. I was thinking when they gave you the number 10, they were putting you in a different role maybe to try to break up play and win turnovers there. But it sounds like naturally that's what you're trying to do anyway, because that's what you've been doing for the last couple of years.
I think that's the job really. Like, is you have to get up and down, you have to get back, help out defence, but then you have to try and get forward then as soon as you do turn the ball over. Like, so it's just that up and down. But yeah, it's enjoyable in a weird way. Like, knowing you just have to go for it. Like, and just I suppose put the body through the ringer for 70 plus minutes. Like,
has there been a big change in terms of your GPS stats then, in terms of the movement demands of playing in that role versus cornerback?
Yeah, pretty big. Like, I was just looking at yesterday's there, like 13k yesterday. And was like very feeling it today, including warm up. Like, I think warm up was maybe 2 or 3k. Like, I think last week was 10 or 11k as well. So there were some games last year I was maybe hitting that, like, but yeah, definitely not. I don't think it was 2 weeks in a row, like, but yeah, when I saw the 13k I was kind of like, fuck, that's a big one. But seeing the warm-up was included.
Yeah, but how good, 2 lads playing football again, which is what we've been talking about for the last few weeks, obviously, or last couple of months. Darragh obviously didn't get to participate in Fermanagh's win. From what I hear, they went very, very well, and it's kind of a weird situation to be in, because obviously you're disappointed to get relegated, but it's a positive going into Ulster to have won in that fashion. Where does the mindset lie for the squad at the moment?
To be honest, we're probably looking back at, it's not even really the Louth game. Like, the Louth game was like a one-off, just everything that could have went wrong, and the game was gone after 15, 20 minutes, and then it just escalated from there. So really, we're looking back at the Cork game, we're looking back at the Meath game, and we're thinking, like, we properly threw that away. Like, especially like in the Meath game, if we'd got a win against Meath, that would have relegated Meath. We would have stayed up. If we'd even, like, we were 3 points up in the Cork game with 3 minutes to go. The first time in the whole game that Cork took the lead was the 72nd minute. So we were well in control for large parts of that game, and then they got on top towards the end, and it was too late then to claw it back. So they're the ones where we're probably thinking individually in our own heads at the minute. We haven't really spoke massive amount about it collectively yet, because we obviously would be back in team training tomorrow night. But it's gotten just to not be able to stay in Division 2, simply because we know we should have and we could have. Like, it's a different story if you're a Kildare or someone, they didn't even win a game, and they're probably just looking at themselves and thinking, massive amount needs to change here. But for 5 out of the 7 games, we actually played pretty well, and yeah, it's one of those things. But like, we could only control the game at the weekend. Like, that was literally it. So we're happy that we were able to bounce back and, I suppose, change a few things up from last week and learn those lessons. Like, that's probably the biggest thing in the league as well before you go into the championship, is like figuring all these things out. And I suppose if that didn't happen last week, we may be going into the championship in a worse place, because we mightn't have realised that those things were weaknesses that teams could have exposed on us within championship. So I learned a massive amount last week and put it all right, to be honest, at the weekend. Like, it's probably our best performance of the whole league. So I suppose positive in that sense that we're going into the championship in a decent frame of mind.
How do you park it? Like, how do you park that Cork game? Or is it still going to be in the back of your mind now for maybe the rest of the week?
A couple of days, I think you're overthinking it, but as soon as you get back into that first team session, you're already planning towards Armagh. You simply have to park it. Like, it's gone. Like, literally nothing you can do about it. So yeah, I'd imagine we'll train hard tomorrow night, park it in that sense, in terms of just getting back in training and back planning for the next game. I suppose, as cliche as that sounds, but that literally is what happens in Gaelic and what happens at inter-county level. Like, the last game is gone, or the previous games, and I suppose everything now is going to be just completely focused towards that Armagh game.
From what I read and the couple of highlights that I saw, the forwards were absolutely humming at the weekend for Fermanagh. Does that make you a little bit worried about getting your spot back now that you're back on the field, or are you never worried? You're like, if I'm fit, I'm playing.
To be honest, makes me excited too, in the fact that like we have players who are performing well. It gives us a better chance of actually beating Armagh. So like I'll only be getting back in the team if I'm playing well and I'm training well. Like realistically, I haven't played a minute in the league, so the chances of me starting against Armagh are, miniature. Like realistically, I'll be pushing to come back and probably make an impact off the bench if I'm being realistic. Whether I can do that, I'm not sure. Like I have, like, in terms of how I feel on the pitch, I do feel like I'm back close enough to that level, but there's parts of my game that probably haven't got up to that level yet, and I'll probably find out the next couple of weeks whether I can get them up to that level or not. Especially with things like kicking and just shooting in general. Like I think I wrote about it in my post yesterday, but I haven't been able to get the reps in and that side of things because of the groin. So that's going to be a huge focus over the next couple of weeks, is trying to get that up to a level. And I even in the game yesterday with the club, like a few opportunities where I did break through and I felt really sharp and I got into that scoring position and I didn't execute it. Whereas before, when I'm at the top of my game, like they're going over 9 times out of 10, like a lot of them shots. So that's something that I'd have to work on. I'll try and control that as best I can the next few weeks. But yeah, I'll not be picking the team, so I can't guarantee either that I'll be even in that contention either.
What was your kicking percentage or your conversion percentage, or did you even want to look at it? Like, was it that bad? Because you scored 3 points, you said.
I scored 3 points, but percentage-wise wouldn't have been great. That I'm not even sure, to be honest. But yeah, it was from play. Like really, it was probably I missed 2 or 3, I think. So you can work that out if you want.
Yeah, that's not bad. Were you on freeze, or all your 3 points were from play?
I got 1 mark when I was in full forward. I think I got 2 from play. So I don't think we had any. I think I went short with a free around the 45 actually. Didn't fancy it. So
yeah, but that's a solid return to get back. That's more points than Eoghan McCabe scored in his whole career. But Eoghan, you got on the
more
scoreboard.
points than me in the league.
Yeah, true. Eoghan, you got on the scoreboard against Clare. Did you give it a little fist bump?
No, I didn't even. We were still chasing the game at that stage, like, and bit of a comeback on, so only time for a fist bump or anything. Or I think
finger up the stand, 3 points down.
I think 20 people there. No, I have to be. It has to be like a big comeback score or kicking the winner or something to get a big yeah out of you. Like, there was a plenty of yeahs going on yesterday. Like, so nah, wasn't a big enough score to get a reaction out of me.
So end of the league, obviously Antrim stay up. For Mana going back down to play Antrim next year, which will be exciting for both you. Like they will get each other again, although potentially at opposite ends of the field. But a bit of talk during the week about the finals and whether we keep them or whether we throw them out. And Mickey Hart was out in force saying that it's an absolute disgrace to even consider getting rid of the finals. Darragh haven't played in a final last year, like in Croke Park. Or was it a semi-final?
No, it was the league final in Croke Park, yeah.
League final, yeah, league final. Like, is it ridiculous to even think about getting rid of them?
I think Andy Moran made a good point where he mentioned Division 3 and 4, like, you just simply can't get rid of the finals, because from my own experience last year, like, that was unbelievable. Like, even in the build-up to that week, after getting promoted, like, you're on a high and you're preparing to play in Croke Park. Like, I had never played Croke Park in my life. Like, it was an experience, and to be honest, like, being out in the middle of it, like, it honestly did feel like so much different to playing anywhere else. So, like, exposure to that is so important, really. Like, and it'll probably, if we do get back there this year, that experience of just being there will stand to us, and it probably showed as well. Like, we fucking cat that day as well. Like. And probably because so many of us hadn't played in that environment. So for Division 1 and 2, potentially you could make the argument like it's probably pointless. Like, them teams are really, really preparing for All Irelands and championships. So, for them, they're going to be, like, realistically next weekend, Armagh, Donegal, Derry, Dublin, you're going to see changes. Like, you're going to see players who are carrying niggas and they're going to be left out. My experience last year, like, I was carrying a major injury and I probably shouldn't have played, but it was our biggest game of the year, so I played in it anyway. because of how much importance we place upon that. And it's not often that Division 3 or 14 gets to win anything like that in terms of silverware in front of a, when it's televised and it's in Croke Park. So I think it'll be complete and utter madness to get rid of it for those teams. But again, you could make an argument for the Division 1 and 2 teams, maybe.
So you telling me that Geezer and Jim McGuinness aren't going to want to get a trophy on the board going into Ulster, or it's not going to be a priority? Because I would have thought that as a manager, like, that would be ideal scenario going into Ulster to be going in after a league win.
It's not that they don't want to win the game. It's the fact. Do you think Jim McGuinness is going to place more importance in the Division 2 final than a battle with Derry in Celtic Park in first round Ulster Championship? 110% it's going to be the Ulster Championship. So you seen like Ryan McHugh and McBeardy obviously picked up injuries. Like 100% chance they're not playing next week, even if they are feeling at 75-80%. So of course they're still going to want to win it. Like, they're still going to field strong enough teams, but they'll probably experiment with 2 or 3, 4 players maybe. And Armagh as well. Like, they've stacks of players on the bench who were starting for the last couple of years and haven't played much league football, so it gives them an opportunity to run those lads and give them minutes in a competitive game as well. So I suppose you could look at it a few ways. Like, every team, if they don't want to go all out in those games, can play players that haven't played much throughout the league. It gives them an opportunity, and then the lads who've been running around with niggles or have picked up or played even every single minute in the league, it's probably a good opportunity to rest them, especially if you're 2 weeks out from Championship.
Does it differ based on which round you're playing in? Like, if you're in the first round, then you're resting more players, whereas if you're playing in 2 weeks' time, potentially you feel a stronger team in that final, do you reckon, Darragh? Do
you mean if, like, the game's a week away?
A week away versus 2 weeks away, because, like, there is the first round of the Ulster and the Connacht is on that first weekend in April, isn't it?
Are they playing a week after the league final?
Well, Monaghan are playing Cavan, and then I'm pretty sure Mayo are playing as well on that weekend. But
I think,
like, if they were in the final, let's say, what do you reckon? Would they be playing their first team, or would they be rotating completely because they're playing, say, Championship the following week?
I think you'd see like literally a completely new 15. To be totally honest, like, that would be
Mayo
playing.
Did Mayo? Did not happen Mayo last year where they were playing in the league final?
Yeah.
And a week later, and they didn't they get beat?
Yeah.
I think they fielded a pretty strong team from memory.
But I mean, in the league final, in the league final they went for it, and then later in Championship they were nowhere near it, I don't think.
Yeah, because Roscommon beat them in that first game in the Championship, and they played a strong enough team the week before. So even that's probably something they're looking back and regretting. But then there was obviously arguments that were Mayo even going for a Connacht Championship, or were they thinking of the All Ireland series? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know from the outside looking in. But then a question for Bodie, then, having played in Croke Park last year, Tailteann Cup, did that differ, like, the environment or the atmosphere, as opposed to maybe your experience in a league final, Darragh? Was there more on the line in the league final, or what was both of your experience of playing in Croker for the Tailteann Cup?
For Tailteann, like, it was a championship match for us. Like for us, it was obviously the biggest game of the year. I haven't played in the league final. We actually, when we got promoted from Division 4, there was no league finals that year because of COVID. And we were, I suppose you were kind of raging to play Croke Park, because you, like, obviously the big thing is, right, we get promoted, we get the Croke Park, like, as Darragh says, for Division 4, Division 3 teams, like, you're not getting too many opportunities there. So you want every opportunity to play there you can. But like, we played Armagh in the Championship that year, so like, once that week was over, you weren't even thinking about a league final. Like, you were just getting ready for Championship then. But playing there in the Tailteann Cup, like, that was Championship. Like, it was just the buzz, the atmosphere, it was class. I can't really comment on what it would be like in a league final, but no, I loved it was unreal. Like, it was a pure Championship. Like, that's how it felt.
Yeah, to be honest, like, if I was comparing a Tailteann Cup semi-final or whatever it was to a league final, you'd probably say the Tailteann Cup semi-final might be bigger because it is Championship, like, and it's in that deeper stage of the season where, you know, it's all or nothing really. Like, that's the end of it. So probably is a bigger thing for teams but it's the fact that Owen mentioned, it's the fact you're not getting to play in Croke Park very often whatsoever. So, and it's really good. It comes down to Croke Park. If them league finals were in anywhere but Croke Park, I don't know how much importance you'd be pulling out.
Not if it was in Semple Stadium, kids.
Nah, shit old.
But you've answered our question there, Owen, in that like you said you were raging when during COVID there was no final. So like that means 4 teams, maybe 6 teams are going to be raging if they do pull them out, because it's a straight shootout. And as well as that, like if we look at Division 1, Derry are on top of it. Dublin having bet Derry are second, and Dublin are probably coming into more form now. Like they're probably going to be hoping that they're going to go and win Division 1 league this year.
The other side of it too is like, I know we were chatting about, do you have a championship game the week after, or do you have 2 weeks away? Like if you have 2 weeks until your first championship game, like, that's probably the best challenge game that you can get going into your championship. Like if you have 2 weeks, you're playing Dublin and Croke Park. Like what no better way to set you up for championship. Like obviously they'll be flying throughout the league, but like you're not going to get a better test, because you can go. I think they'll go flat out for it. They've got the week then, the sort of a couple of days to recover, and then obviously the focus turns to the championship then. So yeah, like why wouldn't you have a cut? Like, but again, if you have a championship game the following weekend, you would be putting back. Like, what was your question? Completely went in my head.
No, you answered it. Answered it. Whatever my question was, you've given a comprehensive answer already in regards to like, should it just be the first team wins the cup, or should the second team be given a crack? And I suppose if you want to get the best possible challenge game in preparation for a championship, then you justifiably so look for a crack against the team that comes first, because that's the way we've done it, I suppose. Or else, do you have a different opinion on that, Darragh?
No, I don't. I think that's right, to be honest. I think it's right. Like there's only 7 games in the league. Like it's different with the Premier League where there's 38 games, so whoever finishes top's fully deserving of that title. Like it'll be madness. Even when you look at the championship in terms of like the top 6, I think it's pretty mad that the top 2 go up and then 4 teams play off for the third. Like a 6th place team could potentially go to the Premier League when a team that's dogged it out all year is came third, so maybe 10 points ahead of them, and they're still going up. So when there's only 7 games played in our leagues, I think it's not enough games to probably justify the top team winning the league. Maybe that's madness to even think that way, but I think they're a good decision, and Owen made a good point there in terms of like you're more than likely going to play a championship or a challenge game anyway. You're going to play an in-house game. You're going to play something. This whole thing, like in terms of people's fear and injuries, I think it more comes from outside teams than it is within. Like within your squad and within your setup, your bad as always says to play a challenge game, to see where you're at, to maybe try out 2 or 3 other players and see where they're at as well. So yeah, I think it's a good enough opportunity. Obviously, it's different when like Jim McGuinness came out this week because 2 of his best players picked up an injury. Would he have said that if they didn't? No, he wouldn't have. So, yeah, I think it's fine. Like,
but like, go ahead, Pete.
Well, I was just going to say, like, it's up to the manager to rotate to reduce the risk of injury anyway, and to develop a squad that is like capable, that players can jump into the squad and play to the same level of the players that's missing or the player that is missing. So like, it's on you if you don't have talent developed to a sufficient level that you can rotate players. Like you got to try and do that as a coach. That's your job, isn't it?
I think at higher level counties, that's fine. Like you're going to have 25 players who are top level. You go down the divisions, one of your best players get injured, and it's a different story. You just simply don't have that talent pool. So yeah, different arguments for different levels, I suppose, I think, as well.
That's life though. That's tough. Like, like the best team wins, like at the end of the day. Like, and I fully get what you're saying as well, Darragh, but like sport is ruthless at times, and you've got to aim for the highest level possible, even though you're probably using a more realistic perspective there, which is like, well, like some counties don't have the same resources, they don't have the same players, but we've still got to strive to get to the best possible level that we can, let's say. But Owen, anyway, you
Life's
had a point there before I life's not fair, basically.
No, you just have to get on
you
with
had
it.
a point before I cut across you, Owen.
I was just saying about the leagues and the league finals. That like Austin McConville made a good point on the GAA social that there's not enough made out of the league, sort of the final round of the league games. Like you look even just in our division alone, Down, Clare, Westmeath, all going for promotion. Down playing Clare, and then us, Offaly, Limerick. Limerick were already down. Offaly were playing Limerick with it. And then us, Offaly, and Wicklow all battling relegation. Like, so even just there, like there's so much going on. So class to like see more of that. Like if you were sort of jumping and changing and seeing how as it stands and all that sort of crack. Like, but I think it's exciting competitions. Obviously, there's so many permutations or whatever going on, but I do think there needs to be a bit more of a deal made out of it. But bottom line is you probably want to be getting the league finals. You want more days out in Club Park, and if you've got 2 weeks to your championship game, like there's no better challenge game that you're going to get against a team on your level or maybe just ahead of you. It's probably it's the best challenge game you can get, setting yourself up for championship.
But like to touch back to Darragh's point, that's probably why it's so competitive and should be so exciting, is because there's so few games. So then there are teams that are so close to each other that it's all to play for in the final round. And like if you look at Division 4, there was 4 teams or 5 teams that could have went up. And I'll be honest, like out here in Australia, I haven't struggled to get highlights any weekend bar this weekend. So there wasn't enough made of the last weekend. And then my question, I suppose, that I posed to you is there too much going on with all 4 leagues being played on Saturday, Sunday? Like, would there be a possibility of running Division 4 on a Friday night, having them all play at the same time so that we get more eyes on Division 4, and then trying to run them on separate days or at separate times, I suppose, so that we get more eyes on the games and there is more of a build-up? Because that is what's missing. Like, there's so much on the line this weekend and it seems like not very much made of it.
I think in theory that sounds good, but like imagine going to Leitrim on a fucking Friday night. Fuck that.
It's not really feasible, I don't think.
It's not realistic. Like
Kind of.
even going down, even for a Saturday game, and you're going down on a Friday night, and traveling down to just get the hotel to stay over for your game on a Saturday is tight enough. Like, but in theory, it'd be class with the TV and all. But then you run into that lads are working, boys are probably, you might have lads in Dublin, you have boys all over the country, and you have to try and get everyone for a game at maybe 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock on a Friday night. It would be class. Like, don't get me wrong, it'd be class if you had all your sort of Division 3, 4 games on the Friday, Division maybe 3, 2 on the Saturday, and then all Division 1 on the Sunday or something. But I do think there still needs to be a better job with coverage.
I think just splitting up the times and like 2 and 6 on a Saturday and 2 and 4 on a Sunday, and having coverage for all of the the way like on the Sunday there in Division 1 they were splitting the screens and stuff for throughout the Kerry game. Like, they were showing bits of the Tyrone game, showing bits of, I think it was one of the other games. But if they had that set up in terms of like the televised nearly all 4 divisions, because they were on at different times and they had TV high on the red button at all of the games, it'd make it a lot more exciting. Like, so that could be a solution, I suppose.
You could probably do it like a Super Sunday on Sky Sports, like where you did at 12 o'clock you did Division 4's throw in, then you did, as you said, maybe a 2 o'clock, a 4 o'clock and a 6 o'clock, or you spread it out even more and you went 12, 2:30, 4:30, and then like a late night one as well. And like, there'd be tons of fans that are absolutely obsessed with football that'd sit down there for the day and watch all of the games and probably enjoy it. And like, that's what they're trying to do, is get more eyes on football constantly. That's why they're constantly going on about rule changes all the time to try and get people to actually buy into watching it. But they're probably not doing the number one thing, which is making it easy and accessible to watch all of the games and appreciate what's going on. And that's probably why the fans are getting critical when they only see 2 games a weekend. And if those 2 games are not very good, then they're going to say, oh, we need to change all of the rules. Game's gone to the dogs. So like just make it more widespread. Like as I said, I couldn't get access to feck all this weekend. And like that's partly my fault because I live in Australia, obviously. So it's not wow, poor me. But like just make it more widespread. Like if I'm watching AFL here, you can watch every single game that's on. You can watch every single rugby league game. You can watch every single soccer game that's on. Why the hell do we put everything or make everything so inaccessible, like putting it behind a paywall, and then at some stages coverage is shite? But that's enough of a rant for today. And I suppose
you could be stuck in the north trying to get RTE on and not get fucking access to it.
Yeah, I haven't had that problem now, but that is ridiculous as well. Okay, so in terms of league finals, then it might be useful to like try and pick our picks for the victors in each game. So like Derry and Dublin, obviously they've played already this year, and we were kind of saying Derry would have a crack off them, and then Dublin have come into a lot of form since. So who are we picking in that game?
I go on Dublin.
Depends. I would like to know the team that Derry's going to actually put out.
Well, you
to be
don't,
honest, if they went full tilt to win that game, which I think they probably will, it'll be really close. But I still go with the Dubs.
Dublin, like out the weekend, just seen the highlights of them. They've been class.
They're a different
the ball
animal in Croke Park again. It's one of those things. They're just so comfortable there.
Yeah, but just the speed, the power, the pace of them, like everyone's singing off the same hymn sheet. It's like the fucking Flan V coming at you, like.
Yeah, 100%. Is it a significant advantage that is their home stadium, and they get so comfortable at playing there because they play there so frequently?
I do think a bit, like, but they're still performing like that. Like the last couple of who did they play? Can't remember who they played last week, but they were still flying in that game too. Like, but I do think, it's mad. You don't see Dublin hurlers are nowhere like Garden Croke Park anywhere near as much. Like,
no, Parnell is their home stadium, they'd say.
So, I do think there's a bit of that. Like, but sure, listen, if you're a dub, you wouldn't be complaining at all, like, would you?
I don't know how to get away with it. Like, it just boggles my mind. Like, honestly, it's complete and utter bullshit. Like, it is, like.
Yeah.
Like, they're so comfortable there. Like, it's literally like a training ground for them. Whereas other teams turn up and it's like, holy fuck, look at Croke Park. It definitely has an impact. Maybe not so much for teams like Kerry, because they're in it every single year. But even like Derry there, like, how often have they been in Croke Park in the last maybe 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Like, Dublin are in the Croke Park 7 or 8 times a year, if not more.
Are they missing out on the magic in Croke Park then, though, as a result? Because it's so normal to them. But maybe it's a good thing because they end up winning then as a result.
I don't think so. Like, they still take it in. They still probably enjoy it massively every single time. But it's not like a fear factor. It's not like awe or anything. It's kind of... It's a weird one to kind of, I suppose, put into words. But it definitely think it has an impact.
It wouldn't be... Like, you definitely wouldn't be sick of that. Like if you're getting up for a game at Croke Park, right? Game tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Croke Park. Like, you can't not get up for that. Like,
yeah.
I'd say every time they go, like, just you talk about your arousal for games and like being up for it. Like, how could you not? Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you paid 100, like, you just you could probably be thinking we're going down the road to, I don't know where, some bog. You're just going, nah, we're gonna hit the crucible here.
But like, they go from 80,000 to maybe like, I don't know, 5 to 10. In some of those league games. Like, there was an argument, not so much this year, but over the last few years, that they should be playing their home games in Parnell, like the hurlers, and they'd actually be filling them. So do you think it's actually like they're doing it on purpose to get the players more used to playing in Croke Park? Is that what you're kind of getting at, lads?
It's hard to say that one, potentially, when you say it like that. I still think it's probably a money thing in terms of, like, they're still probably getting more into Croke Park than they are into Parnell, even though it looks absolutely empty. So I'd imagine that's probably what it is.
No comment from one. Okay, we'll move on. Donegal versus Armagh.
He agrees.
Huge game.
Yeah, big one. It's so hard to call as well. I don't know. I think I went to Armagh the last time, didn't I? Honestly, I don't know. I actually haven't seen too much. I haven't seen too much of Donegal, to be honest. I don't know. I'm gonna go draw.
Did I call the draw on that last time?
You call
I
it
think
draw
I might
every
have.
week, Darragh, so probably.
I get it right every week.
And what, do you reckon the same again this week?
Me, I reckon Armagh, because of their squad depth in terms of like the players that have come back, the players that have on the bench, they're probably going to run a few of them. I don't think Paddy McBeardy or MQ is going to play, which is going to dent their strength big time. So, and Jim's going to have an AI 100% think on Derry, so I'd probably go Armagh in that game.
Does what you referenced earlier, what Jim said during the week, influence your opinion on that?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he wanted it.
Yeah, you never know with him. But that's going to be a massive battle, to be fair. Like, and that's the reason that you keep the finals in, like Donegal and Armagh in a final. Like, of course you're going to want to watch that match. Moving on to Down and Westmeath in Division 3. You've played both these teams this year. Owen, which of the two kind of impressed you more?
Down, and just watched them again against Clare yesterday. They look class, like similar to what we're kind of saying about Dublin there. Just like their pace, forward, directness, like they seem very well set up and well drilled. Obviously, you know what Laverty brings to the table, but then even Kiermina coming in as well. Like they're very well set up. Like so, yeah, I think Down will win that. I think Westmeath again still haven't been. They get beat by Sligo there at the weekend. I don't think they've been full out the whole league, but again they're obviously getting promoted. Like, but just going from what I've seen from Down, how consistent they've been, I think Down will win that.
Darragh?
I'd agree. Just from what I've seen from Down, I think they're massively improved even from last year. I think they'll rattle the championship as well. If I'm being honest, just looking at them with the.
Also, to be honest, I think they might be pulling back a wee bit this weekend.
They've been holding back in the league actually, just for that South game. Like. But Westmeath's a funny team. Like they go out and they draw with Down, and then in a crunch game where they have to win against Sligo, they go out and get beat well as well. I think and they end up. So and that was with Heslin coming back off the bench. So they're obviously, as Owen said, they haven't been full strength. I think they have been missing a few players throughout the league. Luke Loughlin as well. I think he only played the last couple of games, so they're obviously going to be stronger again in the game next week. But I think in Croke Park it suits Down as well, and I think they probably learned any lessons that they needed to learn in that Westmeath game. And yeah, watching them yesterday, I think it was, they look on a different level. Like so, I'd be going for them in that game.
Yeah, they are, like, and they have the players as well as the other thing, Westmeath, like that they should be contesting against probably better teams as well, but for some reason they're just really up and down, like, pardon the pun. Okay, on to Division 4, where we had all of the movement last weekend. Laois and Leitrim in the final. Like, I don't know, I would say Leitrim, to be honest. I know I haven't made a pick yet, but just even getting into those top two positions with it, the outside chance at the weekend, I'd imagine they'd be having a crack. Would you agree, Owen?
Yeah, I'd say so. We played Leitrim last year in the Tailteann Cup, like, and they actually beat us the year before in the Tailteann Cup. And then we had played them sort of Division 4 as well. Like, so the Leitrim can turn up on their day, and they can obviously always put in a good performance. Like the last couple of years, I think they just missed out the promotion. They're always going to be there or thereabouts. Yeah, Laois, I'll be completely honest, I haven't seen too much of them. I saw what Down did to them last year, like, and that was probably worrying. But listen, they put themselves in the hunt for promotion. I think we played them Division 3 actually a couple of years ago as well. We drew with them, like, so. Again, they won't see themselves as a Division 4 team, I don't think. But Leitrim, going off the last couple of years, obviously Andy Moore and being in, I think they'll probably see themselves as being probably too good for Division 4 and deserve to be promoted. Like, so I think they'll go at it, and I'll probably see Leitrim coming out just on top there.
I wouldn't agree. I'd say Laois will win that game, being honest. Like, Laois actually have serious players throughout their team. They've a really good setup this year. They've new management. And from what I've been following closely enough in terms of the results and in different games, and they won nearly every game convincingly enough, apart from maybe one or two. And like, we played Laois as well before, beat us last year, and they weren't going well last year, and they still beat us. And they beat us maybe the year before in the league, or 2 years before that. I think we beat them 1 year and they beat us another year. But like, their forwards, Mark Barry, Ethan, or O'Carroll as well, like two top forwards, a few others as well in there. Owen Lowry, I think. I don't know if he's still going about, but Leitrim, I think Leitrim obviously were lucky enough to get out of Division 4 from what I've seen in terms of that. I know there's been a lot of talk about that penalty in the Wexford game. Wexford probably found themselves very unlucky not to get out of Division 4, but Leitrim definitely at least a middle team, Division 3 team, if not further up, in my opinion, when they've good structures in place, good management, good coaching, like they have the players there. So I go for Laois.
But you make your own luck in this game as well. And also, I knew by the head you were going to disagree. I just knew I liked the way, the stern face, that it was going to be Laois. But we won't knock either of you for not seeing many of those games, because, as we've said earlier, it's very, very difficult to see them. Like, like there's not highlights published. Like, you're lucky on the league YouTube, they'll put up maybe the Division 1 highlights, and that's it. Like, it is quite difficult to see those games, but hopefully we'll get to see them all in the coming weekend, I suppose, and we see some good finals, because that is why they keep the final in, so that it's a spectacle. So a couple of weeks' time, Ulster Championship, things are going to start ramping up for both of you, I'd say. People will be probably wondering, what does it look like in the next couple of weeks in the build-up? Is there going to be lads going hell for leather, looking for a starting position? Are they going to run ye, or have you got most of the work done already, and it's going to be a lot of tactical and technical kind of not change-ups, but focus points, let's say, in each week? Who's out first, actually, between the two of you?
I think we're the same weekend, though. We're 13th.
Yeah, I think we're that Sunday, using the Sunday.
That's fucking your low. The 14th is the Sunday. We're the 13th.
We're on the Sunday. Yeah, I suppose in terms of what's coming in the next few weeks, soon find out. But it'll be different again. I've said before, it'll be different for different players. Players played throughout the league, I can't imagine they're going to be doing much running, because it is a 3-week turnaround. But for someone like myself, I'd say it'll be a heavy enough week or 2 weeks anyway, trying to get my loads up again. And I'd say potentially in-house games will probably be coming at us as well. And then obviously running loads on top of that in terms of after training. And then for obviously, as I mentioned, the lads who played throughout the league, that mightn't be the case. Maybe next week. I'd say this week will definitely be a deload for those lads who played 7 games anyway. And then obviously for us who haven't, it'll be a bit higher. But it's difficult with a 3-week turnaround to get much of a block in, really, like, because you're already taking a week out of it in terms of the week of the game. You're not going to be doing a massive amount that week. So really it comes down to probably the next 2 weeks where loads will be a bit higher, and then it'll be coming down a wee bit for that game, I suppose.
Does it look similar for you, Owen?
Yeah, I was going to say similar enough. I think it's a blend of, obviously it's very tactical. Like, the good thing is you have 3 weeks, you're looking at one team, so you can put loads into that and you can do plenty of homework on it. But I do feel, because it is 3 weeks, like, there's time there still needs to be a wee bit of work done, and there still needs to be a bit of intensity brought. But like, as Darragh says there, you'll have in-house games. You asked if boys be going hell for leather and trying to get places 100%, because you've seen league teams and then you've seen boys getting fit again, boys coming back into panels, and like even our team there yesterday, there was 3 boys came in late. To what the panel, what the team was named, sorry, and to what the team was last week, like 3 lads who two boys just back in from injury, and the fella who'd be coming off the bench got his first start there. Like, so there's places up for grabs, like, and boys want to be staking like putting their best foot forward, like. So yeah, it'll be intense, and no, there's always a good buzz when you're getting ready for championship. Like, I think there is a different feel to it. Like, even just there tonight, like, it was fucking. We were our Friday night, I think it was. We were at the training, and on the pitch, the floodlights weren't on yet, and they were still bright, and we were like, "All right, here we go." It's getting to that stage, like, so just really small things like that. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Big couple of weeks anyway. But this week, as Darragh was saying, bit of a we've got tomorrow night off, training anyway, like, so yeah, we'll be back at it from Thursday onwards.
Just to touch on what you spoke about there, on these couple of weeks, like, I know you're both in a unique position in that you're kind of both transitioning back in from chronic injuries, but going up to the field or even during your week when you're maybe working, do you have more excitement for playing football because of what's on the horizon? Eoghan, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you want to play in as big as matches as possible, and I just feel like championship is a bigger occasion than the league, even though probably when you're maybe in the lower divisions of the league is probably your biggest games, most important games, because you're going for promotion, you're trying to work your way up the rankings. But regardless of what division you're in, when it comes to championship, like, championship's class, like, it's just, there's a different buzz, and you've always just been brought up just championship's the priority, like, and it's the main thing, and there's a different feeling about it, like. So yeah, you have that. I think you just constantly have it in the back of your head, like, even straight away after the game there yesterday, it was just like, right, we're watching them even on TV, it was just like, right, you're thinking about down, you're thinking about playing them, you're thinking about getting the body right this week, and then you're getting back into training, you're looking forward to getting back into training and the next challenge, like. So they're yeah, it's a different buzz, like, and you are always thinking about it. You're just even thinking about, right, what work have they get in here, what have I to do between sessions to keep the body right, food, sleep, all of it, like. So it's definitely playing in the back of your head, like, and there's a different sort of buzz that comes with it as well.
Do you have to manage that?
I think I don't know. Personally, I enjoy it. Like, I don't know, like, just going off any experience, it's been an enjoyable experience. Again, probably knowing that I've done the work, and I talk about that all the time, like, but like, that's why you play at the end of the day. You play to play in big days, and like, Ulster Championship's massive, like, and you grow up watching it for so long, and you want to be a part of it. So when you actually have the chance to be a part of it, you're just excited to get into it, like. So yeah, I think, when you want to test yourself against, the top teams and compete at the top level, like, you're looking forward to embrace the challenge, like. So depends what type of player you are. Like, some players will maybe need to play it down a wee bit and distract themselves, but I think it's, for me, I like getting excited about it, and I like thinking about it to an extent, but not losing sight of what needs to be done in the build up to it, like.
Darragh, same for you?
I think it's, you're always going to feel that buzz for, like, I suppose you've 3 weeks now, you're going to feel it this week, next week, and then you probably have to manage it a wee bit better when it comes to, like, the 1-2 days before it, because I've, in the past, even at underage level, like, I often let it get the better of me in terms of, like, getting way too hyped up for games and way too excited, and then you go onto the field and you're just completely zapped of all energy. So to an extent, you do have to manage that, and something I have done anyway in any of the championship games over the last few years is just, like, in the day or two before it, or even on the day, as Eoghan said, like, something to distract you, or something. You nearly just try and not think about it whatsoever, as hard as that is. Probably doing things to get out of the house and just not having to think about it as much. And then obviously, as Eoghan mentioned, your preparation. So when you've prepared well, you've done everything, that becomes a lot easier. You're in a good place going into the game, and then it's just about executing and seeing where it takes you. So yeah, but again, the buzz of championship, like, that's, as Eoghan said, that's where you play. Like, these few weeks are, as everyone talks about, like, it's the journey that you remember in years later. It's that buzz you feel in championship weeks, and the excitement that you feel that you're going to be playing a massive game, a televised game, and also championship, like, none beats it.
Yeah, that's why you play, as you said. So it's important to be grateful for the opportunity, I suppose, and to enjoy it when you're there. So We'll be back in the next couple of weeks with some in-person episodes for you guys. Good episode again put down for the Backdoor Cut, so hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks to Darragh, thanks to Eoghan, and we'll catch you all next week hopefully.